Big time, number 9. Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Big time.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Esports Fashion Week. If you are just joining us, then don't fret, we have so much more action coming your way. We have already seen an incredible fashion show by Hacks spotlighting their brand new collection. It looked absolutely epic, and now we have a brand spotlight coming your way. We are Nations. I am also joined by the wonderful creative director Joshua Miller to talk about their collection, what they've got coming up, exciting things for the future. Joshua, it's so lovely to have you joining us. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I have quite the array of questions for you because we are very interested about We Are Nations and what you guys have been up to. But for maybe some of the consumers or viewers who have never really come across your brand before, what are you guys all about? What actually separates you from potential other brands in this industry?
Well, hi, pleasure to be here. I think the main thing that separates We Are Nations is really just our distribution channels, as well as the amount of production capabilities that we have, and coupled with different industry connections. And then We Are Nations is, and essentially We Are Nations is our company focused on esports apparel and merchandising. And we can service basically anything from e-commerce through events to brick and mortar retail.
Wicked. Wicked. I absolutely love that. Now, I have had an gander. I am part of esports, so I have seen what you guys do and what you're up to. Of course, you have also produced jerseys for Call of Duty League. I've seen you guys dip your jerseys into gaming world, so Assassin's Creed. I've seen a lot of different styles and collaborations that you guys do. But within those, you do show a huge level of creativity with the teams and the organizations that you do produce things for. What is your vision behind these designs, and where do you think you get that from? Where is it all starting?
I think with the teams, at least, it's starting from the teams and what the teams are trying to represent or to convey their brand voice. And I think similarly for any of our IP related product, it's definitely coming from within the game first. And I just try to bring out as much of that as possible while trying to make a piece of apparel that is pleasurable to wear at any point in time, whether it's at an event or outside of it.
Love that. I think that is a nail on the head there. And jerseys especially are huge part of esports at the moment, and it's really cool to see the creative design behind those and what you guys do produce out there. Now, I've got a question about your future endeavors and what are your plans outside of e-commerce for the future?
Oh, well, there's a lot of plans. The ones that I can talk about, though, are we are working on obviously expanding back into events, which we're very excited about, as well as working on some potential retail possibilities also. And we have a few other projects in the works as well.
I like it. Hey, I'm hooked. You've got me listening. That is for damn sure. Now, obviously, with collections, the creativity, there is inspiration. What or who inspires you guys to continue unique collections?
I mean, honestly, I think it's a huge collaboration of things. I think the world in general is the biggest one, but is as well as what's coming out as far as games, what's happening in the esports world, as well as what's happening in the fashion world, from everything from runway to streetwear. I think those are really big focus points, as well as kind of our core market demographics, like looking at what's happening there, looking at what they want, and what's popular at the moment, and trying to stay on top of that and incorporate as much of it into esports apparel as possible.
Love it. And speaking of that, with the styles with your collections, like you said about the inspiration, you guys have streetwear, activewear, teamwear, the list, it goes on. But what is your go-to, do you think, as a brand? What represents you truly?
I think as a brand for us, it's somewhere leaning more on the teamwear side with a dash of streetwear for sure. Somewhere in that is definitely where we sit as nations. I think we have an upcoming project that is a lot more streetwear focused, more elevated product, and that will be coming up very very soon.
Oh, you hear that, folks? We had a little something to look forward to there.
It's a little teaser.
Grabbing that little teaser, love it. Now, obviously, we are here celebrating fashion at its finest, and this is the first of its kind so far. First show that we're doing as well. And I've got to ask you what your vision is behind Esports Fashion Week. What does it mean to you as a brand? What does it mean to be truly celebrating this within esports and finally kind of having a voice here?
Absolutely. I think it's a huge step forward. I think that even just in the past 5 years, apparel in the esports space has grown so much, and it's absolutely amazing to see something like this starting to happen, especially on a broader scale. I think that it's definitely the way forward. I think that it's how we're going to see progress in the future. And it pushes all of the brands to be better. It pushes everybody in the space to be better and more creative, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It really does. And talking about, pushing brands to be more creative, to come on board, especially to collaborate within esports and within this industry. What have been some of the memorable collabs that you guys have done, or some of the memorable brands that you guys have also worked with?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that pretty much all the teams on our roster definitely have been memorable in one way or another, for sure. I think that the Ubisoft collection that we released with both Assassin's Creed and Rainbow Six was a huge one for us. That was a really fun project, and the people at Ubisoft are amazing. I'm very excited to hopefully work more with them in the future.
Amazing.
And then we have some other things that I'm currently working on that I'm very, very excited about. Some childhood dream projects that have come up.
Oh my gosh, wicked. I can already...
Yeah.
There's some big things. We've had this interview. We've been going for, 5 minutes? And I'm already excited to speak to you again at some point, Joshua, to figure out what on earth is going on next for you guys, because it sounds absolutely amazing. I especially love how you guys have, brought on Ubisoft and collaborating with, some of the games that I've grown up with, or some of the games I play still, which I think is so, so cool. I think it's super unique. I love that part of esports. So it's great to see you guys doing that. Now, last question I have for you is kind of about the process. It's finer detail about what you guys do now. You guys have sister companies that are more traditional, I would say, as opposed to esports. But it's really cool that you guys are diving into so many different things. What is the process like with the sister companies? Do you have a similar process when it comes to We Are Nations and with esports, or does it change quite significantly from one to the other?
I believe it's a bit of both. Some of the process stays very much the same, which I think is something that We Are Nations brings to the table, is we have that kind of more stable platform to work from. But the huge differences are in esports, everything moves so much faster, and everything needs to be turned so much faster. So I think that our efficiency really comes into play there, and how we prioritize projects, and our level of communication with our clients is much, much higher in order to get to that result that everybody is happy with and excited to release much faster.
Amazing stuff. Well, you guys have a serious system in place. I can already tell there are some very, very exciting things up the sleeves of We Are Nations. I cannot wait to find out what those are going to be. Joshua, thank you so much for indulging us here.
Absolutely.
I'm really excited to see what you guys do next, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Absolute pleasure. Please come back soon, Joshua. Well, I tell you what, folks, we have just heard from the creative director of We Are Nations. Joshua really gave us an incredible insight there of what is to come. Cannot wait. But speaking of that, what is to come for the rest of the show? Well, I can tell you, friends, we do have a fashion show coming up very shortly. We have Xset up next, showing us their brand new collection. You don't want to miss it, so don't go anywhere.